Hello, and welcome to Mind Matters Fellowship Podcast, brought to you by She Thrives, a space brought to you by the Yes, You Can Foundation. I'm Fariha, a life coach, and I'm so grateful that you've chosen to spend this time with me today. You know, if you've ever felt overwhelmed, anxious, or just a little bit lost in the noise of your own thoughts, please know this: you're not alone. In fact, feeling that way is a profoundly human experience. Yet so often we bottle it up. We put on a brave face because we're afraid about talking about our struggles in case people perceive it as a sign of weakness. Today, we're going to challenge that. This episode is a safe space. We're going to talk openly about mental health, not just the challenges, but some beautiful tools and hope-filled pathways which can help you move forward. We'll weave in some facts, share a few stories, and I'll offer you some actionable strategies that you can start using right away. My goal is that by the end of our time together, you'll feel a little lighter, a little more equipped, and empowered to continue this essential conversation in your own life, and perhaps with the people around you. Because it's okay not to be okay. Let's start with a simple but powerful fact. The World Health Organization tells us that depression is a leading cause of disability worldwide, and anxiety disorders, they're incredibly common. But here's a crucial part. Mental health conditions are just that, health conditions. We wouldn't feel shame about having asthma or diabetes. We'd seek treatment and support, and we'd learn to manage it so that we could live full and vibrant lives. So the same should be true for our mental and emotional well-being. The stigma, that uncomfortable silence, is often born from a lack of understanding. I remember a young woman, let's call her Anya. Anya was a high achiever, always smiling, the one everyone goes to for support and advice. But inside, she was battling a constant critic in her head. And this critic was often telling her she wasn't good enough, and she felt like she was a fraud. And in fact, that's the word she used to describe herself. She said, I feel like a fraud for feeling sad because on paper, everything looks perfect. And, it was only when she had heard about one of her favorite celebrities talk about her own struggle with anxiety that she gave herself permission to acknowledge her pain. And I think it was that moment where she realized that, oh, it's not just me. And that was the first step on her healing journey. So it's very important to realize and to give ourselves the permission to feel these things. Anya's story is so common. The taboo tells us to remain silent, to keep it all inside, be strong. But our biology and our shared human experiences tell a very different story. Our brains are complex organs, and sometimes they need a little help, a little fine-tuning, just like any other part of our body. So, what can we do when we feel that weight? I want to offer a few practical tools. Just think of it as a way of building your own mental wellness toolkit. You can just dip in and take out a tool when you feel you need it. You don't have to use all of them at once. Just pick one that resonates and try it. So the first one is called Name It to Tame It. This comes from the brilliant work of Dr. Dan Siegel. When a difficult emotion like anxiety or anger hits you, instead of trying to resist it or keep control on it, try to simply name it. Say to yourself, this is anger, or this is anxiety, or I'm feeling overwhelmed. This simple act of labeling it actually reduces the power of that emotion in your brain. It moves the activity from the reactive amygdala part of your brain to the more logical prefrontal cortex. You are not your emotion, you're the observer of it. The second strategy is a grounding technique for any moment that you feel overwhelmed. When your thoughts are racing around, and to bring yourself back down to the present moment, this technique, which is called the 5-4-3-2-1 technique, does wonders. The reason it's called 5-4-3-2-1 is the first step is to acknowledge 5 things that you can see around you. It could be the pattern on your wall, a crack in the ceiling, the light from your window. Any 5 things that you can see. Touch 4 things that you can feel. 4 things that you can feel. It could be the cloth of your fabric that you're wearing, perhaps the fabric of your duvet, the surface of your phone. It could be the cold of the floor tiles beneath your feet. Thirdly, listen for 3 things you can hear. It could be the hum of a fan or the AC. It could be cars outside, or it could even be your own breath. The next one is to identify 2 things that you can smell. So maybe it's the smell of your perfume, your deodorant, or it could be the smell of the hand cream that you just used this morning. And then you have to name 1 thing you can taste. So it could be the lingering taste of your morning coffee, or the mint that you just ate. So this technique shows us it isn't about making the feeling go away. It's about anchoring yourself so that you don't get swept away by it. So acknowledge it. Acknowledge it, name it, and tame it. The third technique that I want to share with you for your mental wellness toolkit is the reframe the narrative. We all have an inner critic, all of us, even those superstar singers and politicians. Trust me, we all have it. So the next time your inner critic pipes up, I want you to try talking to yourself like you would to a close friend. For instance, if your friend failed their driving test, you wouldn't say, "Oh, you're such a failure. You're such a loser." I mean, you wouldn't say that. You just wouldn't. What you would say instead would be, "That's really tough. I'm so sorry." Or, "It's okay. It's just a driving test. You can try it again." Or perhaps you would help them in practicing. How can we try again? But the point is, you would extend compassion, kindness. So why wouldn't you do the same to yourself? With this technique, you have to show the same compassion to yourself. And I can tell you, I know it feels strange at first because I've been there. But over time, it will rewire your brain for self-kindness. Because let's face it, self-kindness is more helpful than self-judgment. So next time you're feeling overwhelm or anxiety, try one of these techniques. And please get back to me and let me know which one helped you, which one resonated with you. I'd love to know how you're finding it. Now, we know these tools are incredibly helpful, But sometimes we need a guide. We need someone to help us to see the blind spots that we can't see ourselves. And that is when the power of coaching comes in. Therapy is essential for diagnosing and treating clinical conditions, and it's a vital part of the mental health ecosystem. Coaching, on the other hand, is a future-focused tool, which is more of a partnership. It's a collaboration where a coach helps you to unlock your potential. A coach can help you gain self-awareness, and a coach can help you design a life that feels more aligned and purposeful. The answers are all within you. The coach just helps you to bring out those answers with the right powerful questions. A coach acts as a mirror, helping you to see your own patterns of thought and behavior. Because sometimes these emotions, these patterns are so ingrained that we don't even realize that we're acting them out. A coach can ask you powerful questions that you might not be asking yourself. For example, what story are you telling yourself about this situation? What would it look like if it were easy? What's one small step you can take today that your future self will thank you for? This is the heart of the work that I do at She Thrives. In my own coaching practice, I've seen incredible transformations when women give themselves the gift of a dedicated space to explore who they are and who they want to become. It's not about fixing what's broken. It's about building on what's already strong. It's about moving from a place of just coping to a place of truly thriving, discovering your values, setting boundaries that honor your energy, and creating a life that doesn't just look good on the outside, but feels peaceful and joyful on the inside. Whether it's through fellowships like Mind Matters, through the Yes You Can Foundation, or a coaching relationship with someone like myself at She Thrives, or another trusted guide, this kind of support can be the catalyst for profound and lasting change. So, how do we take all of this and turn it into action beyond this podcast? Well, we start by talking. We become the person who makes it safe for others to be vulnerable. No longer sweeping things under the carpet, no longer avoiding real human emotions, no longer perpetuating taboo. This week, I have an invitation for you, and it has two parts. First, the internal invitation. I want you to check in with yourself. Honestly and compassionately ask, how am I, really? And listen to that answer without judgment. And second, the external invitation. I want you to reach out to one person. It could be a simple text like, hey, I was thinking about you. How are you really doing? Or you could share something small about your own day that was challenging. You don't need to have all the answers. Just by saying the question and listening with empathy, you are chipping away at the stigma. You are saying it's safe to be a human. It's safe to feel, and it's safe to share. Imagine the ripple effect if we all did that. Our communities, our workplaces, our families, they would all become so much more compassionate. They'd become supportive places, places of growth. So, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this thought. Caring for your mind is not a luxury, and it's not a sign of weakness. It's the ultimate act of self-respect. It's the foundation upon which meaningful, resilient, and joyful life is built. Your mental health journey is uniquely yours, but you don't have to walk it alone. There is strength in seeking support. There is strength in and power in vulnerability, and incredible hope in the tools and resources available to us today. So, I want to thank you for your courage in listening and for being part of this vital conversation. If anything we discussed today resonated with you, please explore the resources available through the Yes You Can Foundation's Mind Matters Fellowship. And if you're curious about how a coaching journey could support you, you can always learn more about my work at www.shethrivescoaching.net. Until next time, please be gentle with yourselves. You matter.